Carrying a balance on a credit card past the payment due date can actually impact us negatively. First, it means that the credit card company will likely charge us interest. And unlike a mortgage or car loan, a credit card interest rate can get notoriously high. And number two, if you can't keep up with the minimum payments, it may drop your credit score. No bueno. But what if I told you there was a simple tool that you could use that you could actually pay off your credit cards in full every single month? Guaranteed. The benefit of doing this trick is that number one, you have the opportunity to keep your credit score strong, but more importantly, number two, you can take benefits out of all the credit card rewards that you can stack up simply for buying things that you would already buy anyway in the first place. I have actually done this for the last 5 years, and the results, they speak for themselves. First, for the groceries, I used the Amex Blue Cash Preferred card, and I racked up over $1,000 of cashback rewards, and we use this for traveling, for Christmas gifts, and things like that every single year. And I mean, like a debit card, sure, you could use a debit card, but you don't get cashback rewards for debit cards. And see, the thing is if you have discipline and you stick to an actual written budget, you're gonna pay for this stuff one way or the other. Why not get some extra cash back simply for using the credit card? Now, it's easy to tell you about this, right? But come here. I'm actually gonna show you how I do this. Call me a nerd if you want, but I still use Excel.
Haha, nerd!
Here's exactly what I do. Let's say, for example, I get a deposit. I can type in D. Let's say we got that on 12/10, and it's on my job income. All I have to do is right over here, deposit credit. Let's say we made $500. It's automatically gonna update it. You can see right now the balance says $1,000. If I hit enter, automatically updates to $1,500. Then what I do is instead of saying things like debit card or automatic payment, let's say I get some groceries, and instead of using the debit card, I'm gonna use my American Express. I type in Amex. Let's say I did that today on 12/11, and I got groceries. Let's say we spent $150 on groceries. Look at the balance, automatically updates. Now, in my mind, I have $1,350 left for the week, the month, or whatever my budget period is. But here's the trick. Even though the groceries are out of my account as I see them now, they're not actually out of my checking account because I use my American Express card. And then what I'm gonna do as the month ticks on is I'm gonna wait for my American Express statement to come forward. Once that statement comes forward, I'm going to look at the statement and I'm going to compare it right here to the transaction register. So I'll look through for all the things that were Amex and make sure that they're reconciled using this column, column E right here. So for example, I would look on my statement to make sure that $150 for groceries on 12/11/23 actually happened and is listed on the statement. If it is, I put a Y. Then after I reconcile to make sure everything in this transaction register meets the statement, I can pay it off in full because I've been tracking my expenses this way, not worried about what's actually in my actual checking account, paid off in full, and I don't even have to worry about do I actually have the money. See, a lot of people, what they do is they decide, I'm just gonna rack up the credit card, pay it off in full every month, and everything will be fine. But the trick with that is, what if you accidentally overspend? See, there's a lot of psychology studies out there that say the psychological impacts of a credit card is that you're ultimately gonna spend more money because you're out there and you're like, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm good. Let's go ahead and get that because it looks cool and I wanna buy it. The problem is, what if you weren't tracking your money and all of a sudden you actually have more racked up on your credit card than you actually have in your bank account to pay off that credit card? Well, now you have a choice. Your choice is, I guess I'll pay as much as I can and carry the balance over, or I do something else, and that something else just doesn't make any sense to me. When you carry over that balance, the credit card company is going to charge you interest. And that's not the game here. We want cashback rewards. We want travel rewards. We don't want to be spending money on interest. We want to do this absolutely free the whole way through. But let me go a little bit further because it's one thing just to type some random things up on the Excel spreadsheet just like I have. It's another thing to actually take you through exactly what I do. First thing I'm gonna do is go over to American Express website or whatever your credit card company is, but this is my example. I'm gonna go up to the top where it says statement and activity. Now, I'm using a computer here. You can use a phone, whatever works best for you in reconciling every single month. Once I have a statement due, you can see if I look right here, I have some statements right below here. That's what I'm gonna compare to my transaction register, and I'm gonna reconcile it. Here's how I do that. Now, right here in the transaction register, I'm gonna come up here to the top, and I'm actually going to filter to only Amex charges because I don't want to look at everything else. I only want to look at what was on my American Express card because that is what I'm reconciling. For this example, I guess what I'm going to do is delete all the yeses. This is an example from back in the beginning of the year, but this gives you an example of what I do. I'm going to come up here and then I'm going to put a yes for everything that is appropriately reconciled. Now, there could be a chance that I accidentally missed putting in one of my American Express charges into the transaction register. And that's why we want to reconcile this to make sure it's 100%, so that way you guarantee when you pay off that credit card statement in full that you actually have the money all set and squared away. So in this example, what I would do is I'd look at my statement, and I usually kind of follow the statement, but it's up to you if you want to follow your transaction register. But for me, I like to follow the statement. That way, if I miss anything in this particular column, so for example, if I have like yes, 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 nothing, yes, 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 at the end, I can look and say, wait a minute, where's this $4.62? Or I'm looking at my statement and I realize, wait a second, there's a charge on here that's not on my transaction register. Whoops, I made a mistake and I got to address that. But in a perfect world, we're not going to have that issue. Everything will balance out perfectly. But here's an example. On 1-1, we have Walgreens, and right here, 1-1, Walgreens for $12.16. That matches, so I can put a yes. And then you look at here, we have groceries for $30.48. Boom, that matches up perfectly. We keep moving on, $4.62 at Starbucks. You literally just go through that and you compare it to your transaction register and using column letter F to reconcile. And once that's all done and you're 100% matching up to the last month, pay it off, rest assured, and take advantage of those cash back rewards. So there's two ways that you can do this. Number one, create your own Excel document, or you can write it down on a piece of paper if that works easier for you. Whatever makes it jive and whatever makes it easy enough that you remember anytime you swipe that credit card, you put it into the transaction register of your choice. The second option is if you want a done for you option that looks exactly like what I showed you earlier with the transaction register, you can get it. I have it for sale over on the website. I'll include a link down in the description below, but by no means is this a call to action to buy it. It's totally your call, whether you want to do it on your own or you want the done for you solution. So make sure you share this video with others so they can take advantage of the cashback rewards. But especially when it comes down to travel, make sure you only share it with people that you care about. Because here's the thing, let's say you all get like a lot of cashback rewards and all of a sudden you go on a cruise and you wanna make sure that the people on the cruise with you that also took advantage of this are people that you like. And if you just share it with everybody, there could be some weird people on that cruise boat and you're gonna be like, oh man, why did I do this? I'd make this whole video just not worth it. Anyway, check out this video next. We'll see you on the next video.
Ha ha! Nerd!